Hello. I lied when I said I almost had it done. I am just starting because all my files got corrupted. And I'm also joined by my best friend in the whole world who's older than me and is an adult now, technically.
Say hi!
Hi! I have a very hands-on experience with this kind of thing because back in the ye olde days of 2020, I was very into not getting canceled, and I would stress myself out and research as many people as I could that I found interest in because I was so scared that my girlfriend at the time was going to break up with me if I found somebody that was slightly racist that I liked.
During 2020, during the quarantine era where everyone was online 24/7, people just became, woke and canceled everyone for the smallest things, even their own closest friends. They'll be mad if they did anything that would trigger them or something. It'll just be for really silly things. Now it's kind of been toned down, but you still see content creators getting canceled for little things. I don't know. Not saying that cancel culture is a bad thing, but there is some sides to it that's just y'all, what are we doing?
This specific era of the mid-2020s is very odd to me because it feels like a lot more people are really striving to reach out there and be like, hey, I'm controversial and you should like me because I don't care about rules. And it's really not surprising from some political parties, which I will not be naming right now. But there's this one in particular self-proclaimed queer icon that really stands out to me. You may or may not know who I'm talking about, but
Dream guest on my podcast? Oh my gosh.
I don't speak German, but ich lebe in Auschwitz,
The creature.
But she's not who we're going to talk about today because obviously that would make for a much longer video than need be since she's made so many more songs than just Karma recently. We're going to be talking about the people who didn't want to be problematic but were problematic because they did some crazy things. So, viewer discretion advised. We are going to be talking about a lot of sensitive content such as literally anything that a Minecraft user has been accused of, or literally anything that any one of your favorite song makers has been accused of, like Kanye West, politics, and stuff of that manner. Because this is mostly a political video essay, honestly. The mid-2010s were when I was trying to get my own independence from my parents, so I would stay up late on my Android iPad-looking thing and my mom's malware-filled computer, watching Undertale videos, watching 3am videos, Scott Cawthon videos, game theory videos on Five Nights at Freddy's, and stuff of the sort because I didn't know what else to watch. And now that I'm older, I find those kind of content very, very boring unless I'm doing something else. But my friend Lorelai had all of the apps you weren't supposed to have in the mid-2010s.
Yeah, so I had a lot of apps that young kids weren't really supposed to have back then. I had some apps like Instagram, Roblox. I don't know. I also had an app called Mina, which is a very creepy app. And I didn't realize it until I grew older of how insane that app was. Many full-grown adults will message me and other children of very inappropriate stuff and self-harming things and all that stuff. It was very, very bad, and I don't think the kids realize it's bad until they grow older. And then they grow older and think, and they see all these, current things that are happening with, influencers and things, and they're like, let's not do that anymore. And I think that's how cancel culture started becoming a little bit more of a thing, because we kids who had those weird things saw that it was problematic, and we grow up We want to prevent those things from happening ever again.
It started from around the time the Me Too movement was first emerging in 2017, but it definitely wasn't as prominent as it is now. The 2010s had a lot of flashy imagery, as in Nyan Cat and Vocaloid characters being used a lot during that time. Most of the quote-unquote classic Vocaloid songs were produced during this timeline, and I guess old Roblox, as we used to call it, was really, really popular. It was the starting point, and really nothing else interesting happened at that point, because honestly, who was taking this seriously in the 2010s? This is definitely going to be my favorite part of the project, just because I get to talk about people that I really do not like. For some reason, I find it really interesting how happy it makes me when I get to rant about people I just don't enjoy seeing happy in life. One example of this is the Minecraft YouTuber Dream, which I really do not have a fun time seeing all well right now. He's been accused of many assault cases. Okay, hi, Editor Sasha here. I was researching images to find of proof that Dream did stuff to, minors, which he obviously did, but a lot of that stuff was from many years ago, so I'm just going to reference right now the things that he did to TommyInnit, one of my favorite YouTubers at the moment, but not from back then. I don't know why I didn't like him, but, he groomed Tommy for the most part, and manipulated him into thinking that Dream was doing everything in his power to make Tommy's life better, even though he was using him to get gain on YouTube, since Tommy was getting his popularity risen at the time. But it's sad that most of Tommy's friends have been really bad people, such as Dream, and such as Wilbur Soot and everyone else who's been accused of these things. And, at the time, I don't remember, but he was dealing with a death of his friend in 2022, I believe. And also, he was dealing with, sexual assault that happened, which really resonates with me because there's not many real people who have had sexual assault happen to them that have been males. So it really resonates with me that one of my favorite YouTubers at this point has had that happen to them. It obviously it's not a good thing, but it really does make me not feel alone because, yeah, I just feel that way. But Dream has stated multiple times that his age wasn't an excuse. Tommy was 17 at the time that they were pressuring him and using him for content, and that just makes it feel even more stressful on Tommy because he was dealing with the death of his friend, dealing with being sexually assaulted, and dealing with 21, 23-year-olds trying to milk content out of him, which really is upsetting if you think about it. Well, you don't even have to think about it. It's just really upsetting, and I wish he didn't have to go through any of that. But this is why I heavily dislike Dream, because he has done many of these things to Tommy's friends, to Tommy, to other people, to women, to men, everybody. I just really disgust me that he has a platform still. I don't know. But I just wanted to add that really quick before I continue with the video. And here's this is a speed paint of me drawing my friend. Well, not cases, but people have accused him of doing those kind of things, as well as his friends. George Not Found was a big surprise to me because he seemed like such a nice person, and that didn't seem like he would do anything like that. But I guess you really can't tell because Dream, this guy, ended up looking like that.
There was also a time, I forgot this YouTuber's name because I've not watched him a whole 2 years, but I used to watch him so much during my first 2 years of high school, and I don't know, he was a big comfort for me, and I just really enjoyed watching his videos, and I watched him every single day, especially during lunch when I had no one to sit with.
But then one day, there was proof and stuff about him being a weirdo. And that really made me upset because I really liked watching this guy and his content. And now I can't because he's a weirdo.
Things like this don't have their limit on online behavioral stuff because in high school, it's really easy to find people that are just bad people. So you'll find a lot of people that don't like them and say, oh, I don't want to hang out with them. And it is a form of cancel culture pretty much because they lose all of their support from their friends if they do something bad. And sometimes it's not deserved. If they do something that's not really that bad compared to somebody who's done something detrimental to someone and they face the same punishment. I don't think that's fair at all.
Will you stay on the 13th floor?
What's the 13th floor?
I don't know.
I'm so sick of everybody that I get interested in to end up diddling kids. Like Dream, the allegations against him are all for like people under the age of 16, and I feel like that's absolutely insane. Can you not find anybody that you like that's your age, you almost 30-year-old man?
This whole cancel culture thing also works with politics and stuff. I'm not going to go too into it because I know there's fans probably watching this and I don't want to get attacked.
Hey, I'm back. Don't worry, I will talk about politics because I hate Donald Trump. He is the worst human being to ever exist aside from Hitler and Stalin because he has deported people that have not been proven to have done anything. He has done so many bad, terrible things to women and has pretty much doomed me from being a normal human being in the future because I can't get access to medication that I need and I might be put on a list if I have some kind of thing that we're still trying to figure out because of how I was born. And I'm not able to access treatment that I want. I'm not able to do what I want in life. Everything that he's been doing is making things harder for me, and Elon Musk is not helping at all. He has been making cars that are really bad for the environment, despite being marketed as good for the environment. People have been ransacking his stores and stuff like that, and it's not doing anything to help. I know they think that they're helping doing that stuff, but just anger and things like that aren't going to make anything better. And if he continues doing the stupid stuff that he's doing with Doge, the tragic incarnation of what I really didn't want to happen with my favorite meme from like 2016. It used to be a dog. Anyways, if he doesn't stop working with Trump in this kind of thing, people are just going to keep ransacking his equipment and stuff like that, vandalizing, and it's just going to be terrible for the environment and just people in general. And nothing is going to help his situation, and he's making it worse for himself. There have been ICE reportings of them going into schools and snatching kids and deporting them. Man, I'm so sick of this presidency. Oh my god.
So, I'm just gonna be anonymous with this, but there's many times where, like, politicians or, like, very famous celebrities will do some bad things, but there's a conflict between that because it's either people that are trying to acknowledge these things and bring them to light, and there's also the fans that are, like, denying the allegations and all this stuff. Even though the allegations are right there, right in front of you, and it's all proof and real, but they're too ridiculously stupid to realize, no, those aren't real, you know, right in front of their faces, and it's ridiculous.
Yeah, no, you see how that's it? Oh, look at that. Oh. He likes you. At this point, I just feel like it's just getting really ridiculous. People constantly defending the people that they like, the YouTubers and stuff, not listening to the other side, and vice versa. Everything is just making people worse. I just don't think cancel culture is helping anymore, and we really need to realize that, because it's just not. It's just making people's life worse, making other people angry at them for listening to one person's music, and for not listening to one person's music, and being called controversial themselves just because they like a specific music taste or content form. I just wish people would stop being bad and stop making stupid decisions that would end their career ultimately, and they know that. And they still take the risk in doing it because they love children that much. I didn't realize, but I duplicated it on accident. I'm sorry. You're gonna hear me say that twice. I just wish people would stop being bad and stop making stupid decisions that would end their career ultimately, and they know that. And they still take the risk in doing it because they love children that much. I think that's pretty much it that I have for this section, and now we can finally move on to ending this thing. Oh my god, we're finally almost done. This project has taken me forever to put together and really organize because I had to beg my mom to have my friend over here this weekend. But all I have to say is, if you're not a bad person, nothing will come of being canceled, I guess, if you have proof that you didn't do anything wrong. But I really do not think that it should be a relevant part of society today, because all it does is cause more drama and more problems, and it just makes more people more unhappy and stressed out. And everywhere all around that I've searched when I search effects of teens on cancel culture is they've just been stressed out and worried about what their friends are going to think of them if they just do one thing wrong, if they don't even do anything wrong and there's just a rumor being spread around about them. And it does increase suicide rates, and that's been proven.
Adults always say that, like, children or even just teens don't know anything, or that they're being dramatic whenever they talk about stuff like this. But in reality, I just think it's due to their peers in general, both online and in real life. Usually adults always just, I don't know, don't believe kids when they say that they're struggling with things because they're teenagers, and that's such a dumb thing to say, because as it's been proven, teenagers are mostly very mentally, unwell, and they did commit a bunch of suicide. This happens many times to everyone. This even has a conclusion with school shootings as well, where your peers will bully you so much that either you commit suicide or, it'll be crazy. And what I think we can do to prevent that is just be more chill. I mean, if there is an incident of your friend being weird, try to be civilized and just talk to them about it instead of just, throwing them away like they're garbage. Or if there's someone that, is struggling and you see that, try your best to help them with something. Or just give them an ear. Anything like that will definitely help them.
It's a never-ending cycle that I really feel needs to be abolished, and it's just not effective anymore as it was in 2020, because everybody was worried about what they were doing. Now it's kind of just shrugged off, and I don't think it should be anymore. I think we need to find an actual solution instead of just making people stressed out all of the time and not willing to take accountability for anything. It's really hard when people just are so ignorant nowadays, and I do think that we need to find a better way to handle these things. But in my conclusion, I think cancel culture is relatively bad, and I don't think that we should be using it anymore.